We are Steven and Jill. Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show.
We answer that and more. Steven Jill here.
Good day.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Steven Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWit, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about where do we get the money and who's going to teach me. Came from directly out of Jill's mouth.
Why?
Without any editing or without any polish.
Thanks.
It went like this. Hey, Jill, what should we talk about today? Well, somebody just asked me, where do I get the money and who's going to teach me?
Yep, there you go. It happens a lot. I see new investors. I alluded to this a little bit yesterday on the show. New investors. I'm in multiple forums, in linked to all kinds of social media accounts. And these are the two big things, like, do I get lending? Do I get financing? Do I take out a loan on my house? Do I run up my credit cards? Do I sell something? Do I sell a child? Whatever it is, where do I get the money to get this started? And no one even, I'll talk about this more, but who's going to teach me? And they just throw it out there like you're just going to say, who will teach me? And there's going to be a flood of mentors. That's the funniest thing too, but we'll talk more.
Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
Paula says, hi all. I keep hearing investors say they won't touch a deal unless they see a potential for at least 100% ROI, return on investment. Is there any reasoning to this other than just about maximizing profit within a range that will still accomplish high velocity sales? Is this strategy directly related to my 1031 exchange in any way? Thanks. Oh.
So, no, it's not related to any 1031 exchange concept in any way. 100% margin or return on investment and ROI, there's no direct association with that at all. But here's where it comes from. Very early on, I wrote a blog and did a little piece, a video piece on a 24-month millionaire. That's what I called it. And as with everything, you do 20 of these things and one of them really stands out. Well, that one stood out. And I've gotten a lot of people over the years have asked me to do it again or talk about it more. So here's that total Cliff's Notes version. You buy property for $4,000, you sell it for $8,000. You buy 2 for $4,000, and 8 becomes 16, and 16 becomes 32. And it takes, if you do everything wrong under this scenario, you'll have about $1 million in the bank, profit, pure profit.
Why do you say wrong?
Well, if you do everything wrong, because it's so, in my mind,
because you can do better.
Yeah, no, it's just because it's so easy. I think this kind of stuff, okay. And that's what kind of desert property, which we don't talk about that much more anymore, because it's too easy on a couple of deals the way Jill does them these days to make $1 million anyway. Mm-hmm. So that return on investment, that arbitrary, it's doubling your money is where it comes from. And in real estate, that's almost unheard of. You just don't do it. So the reason I included this, Paula, is because there's several people in the Land Investors Forum that are really, for whatever reason, I think they were bored this holiday season or something, and they're just really active in it. And
that's true, by the way. I'm sure. Hey, what do we usually do? We go to the mall. Can't go there. Hey, let's go to this outdoor activity. Can't do that. That's closed too. Let's go to a movie. Nope. That's why.
What it's become for me, and Jill too, I'm sure I can speak for Jill, is let's look at two simple deals. I buy property for $10,000. I sell it for $20,000. My ROI is 100%. If the cash that I put into was the purchase price, nobody can shake a stick at that. It's the greatest thing that could ever happen. Go ahead.
My deal funding investor extra little note to you is the reason we investors say that is I want some wiggle room too. It needs to be that good of a deal that we know we can double our money. And let's just say you're not good at marketing, you're not good at this, you're not good at that. We don't quite double our money, we're still going to do just fine.
Here's a as equally likely situation, and it's one that we probably execute at least every month, maybe more. Buy a piece of property for $110,000 and sell it for $200,000. That's 90%, maybe 80% return when you do all the math. It's not 100%, but we made $90,000. Which one would you rather do? Same amount of work. So I know which one it is for us, and it's the latter. And it is, that's what the forums are packed full of. So this 100% ROI was, it went viral. It went our version of viral, not viral. Because other people in real estate, when they're looking at land as a thing to add to buy their apartment building portfolio or whatever, where, you know, apartment buildings make like 6% when you do all of it correctly.
That's scary. And they're happy. The numbers, I feel so bad.
It's 6%. I'm like, $60 million when it's 6%.
I scratch my head all the time. Can we talk about this for a second? There's a reason why we don't own a bunch of rental properties, meaning like apartment buildings, because I can't sit around for 10 years to get my money back.
Yeah.
I can't wrap my head around that. But like in 10 years, I will get my money back. Well, that's great. But that's a long time. I'd rather get my money back next month.
Well, it's a different game. So with apartment buildings, you raise the rent 3%, it changes the capitalization rate or the gross rent multiplier, however you look at it, and then you go sell it. So you don't make your money by
buying and holding.
You don't make your money off of just doing a fantastic acquisition.
Yeah.
That's how we do that. That's why we're adding so much value.
It's very different.
There's a lot of stuff that can go wrong in an apartment building. If you've ever owned one, you know what I mean. There's a break point for commercial real estate where none of the problems that are associated with owning properties and tenants and all that don't reach you. And so in the beginning of your life, when you're really young, it's easy to deal with all that stuff. And, you know, you're going into it with somewhat naive, which is what that takes. You need to do stupid stuff to figure out what you eventually want to do.
That's funny. Okay.
So at our age and what we know, apartment buildings just aren't for us.
Right. I understand.
Today's topic, where do I get the money and who's going to teach me? This is why you're listening.
I have to comment that I noticed how you actually took the time to arrange the chairs outside. Didn't put the cushions on them, but at least they're arranged.
Yeah, why would I put the cushions on them? It's like raining and stuff.
It's kind of cute though. Like that was very sweet. You even arranged them. I'm like, like leave it, whatever. Kind of looks like we're not here.
You know, I did it for you.
Oh, that's
because I don't care what it looks like back there.
That's cute. That's funny.
Can't tell if you're thanking me or saying, what the hell?
Do you know what's really weird, though? We're going to look back on this in 5 years. I hope this is all different. I'm betting on it, that we're going to be all past all of this. This is now 2021. We're all looking at vaccines and lights at the end of the tunnel. And I'm seeing the people on the beach behind me and like that gentleman on a bicycle exercising with nobody around him. He was like, going 20? Anyway, with masks on. It's still, I'm like, what are we going to look back and say, in 5 years about all this?
So much to say, and
not today.
None of it.
Not now. Can we? You know what's so funny about this? I'm sure you agree. We're all sick of it. We're all tired of it. You get together with your friends. This is the topic du jour. I'm like, can we just talk about something fun?
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about this anymore. Are there some new bands working on some stuff? Because I would love to hear that. Yeah. Is there some, heck, I'll take new Netflix movies any day over this, stuff, the COVID and the political stuff. I don't want any more of that.
At least some of the political stuff's gone with the election.
That's true.
Not all of it by any stretch, but it took a lot of the wind out of their sails, which was on both sides.
That's true. So speaking of today's topic, where do I get the money and who's going to teach me? So this is because I'm reading this and I'm like, this is the top 2 things that I see people ask who have decided they woke up today and said, you know what, I'm doing it. I'm going to be an investor. I'm going to be just like Jack. I'm going to be just like Jill. And this is my new occupation effective today. And then the next thing they say is, where do I get the money and who's going to teach me? I'm like, okay, hold on a moment. There's a little bit you got to think about here, but both of them are not that hard. So you, as we were chatting together, Jack, you had a beautiful way of explaining where the money comes from.
When you're new, no one expects you to have any money. So I used to walk around hanging my head saying, man, if I had a bunch of money, I could do this, 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 and this. So I want you to forget that. It's completely not true. The only reason that you need money when you're young and ambitious is to pay rent and for food and stuff. And you can really reduce that very low if you really start to lower your standards. especially guys. So what you want to think about as far as investing money is, so where do I get the money? You get it from people like us, because the real estate deal that you found is so amazing that we can't pass it up. Here's an example. I mean, if I'll use the example that I use in the question. If you bring us a deal that's, you're convinced, you and maybe a partner that's a little bit to your senior that you bring in are convinced that a $110,000 acquisition is going to sell for $200,000 quickly, and give us a bunch of reasons why. Well, this one, I just looked on our Discord. There's somebody in there saying, I listed my first property, and the 2 properties sold within a week across the street for over my listing price. That kind of stuff, we're going to start throwing money at deals like that. Yeah. So where do I get the money? You get them from people like are in the Land Academy group, or people that are in the industry that love doing these types of deals.
People with the money. And
people who are also for free are going to say, this deal is not as good as you think, and here's why. Or this deal is fantastic, we should do it. Mm-hmm. So more people get hung up on, and rightfully so, I get it, hung up on, I only have $5,000 in my checking account, or 500.
Yeah. I see it for land and houses, by the way. I know you're talking mostly land, but I see it for houses too, because they're like, I see a lot of people going, the discussion then goes to, okay, where do I get the money? And they're going, what did you guys do? How did you structure this deal? How did you get the financing? What should my credit score be? I've seen all kinds of things. Do I leverage my own home? Do I borrow over here? Kind of things. So you don't have to do that stuff, and I don't really want you to do that stuff.
But you have to,
because that's all negative. You don't have as control over the asset like you think you should. So I don't care if it's $150,000 house, but you're buying a $150,000 house. It's worth $210 in its current condition, and all cleaned up and beautiful, it could be $310 kind of thing after someone puts some money into it. So coming to someone even like me, we have a site just to prove this to you too. It's called House Tank, where our people in House Academy do this all the time. They find the asset, they don't have the money, and all they say is, hey, everybody, we got to buy this. And it's usually hours that these deals are funded. Somebody in there is trolling, looking for deals to plop the money down because you found the asset, you already did all the work, just need funding to get this and buy it, and then turn around and flip it to somebody else who's going to fix it up and make it beautiful, and you guys are going to split $60,000, something like that.
Your job in life is to understand data, understand how to do a mail merge, which is all what this is based, the Land Academy 101 stuff, and how to start fielding phone calls when you send out a bunch of mailers, and do all that, and secure an amazing real estate deal times 10. That's your entire job. You shouldn't even ever think about money. And if you use resources like Land Tank and House Tank or whatever, those are websites that Jill and I have developed. The money's going to find you.
Well, now you're tapping into who's going to teach me. So we tackled the money part. Okay, we got that out of the way. And then now we're talking about, okay, girl, that's great. Who's going to teach me, now that I know what to get the deal, how do I go find the deals? Because I know who's going to fund me for the deals. What do you say to that?
Who's going to teach me? I'll tell you, this is what you need to do, especially if you're new and young. Or let's just say new, not necessarily young. You need to ice out about 6 hours, 4 to 8 hours, depending on your personality type and how well you can type. And lock yourself in a dark room, get on a computer, and start doing a bunch of research. And you will find whatever it is that you want to learn about. You will find a path that makes sense to you. And I think there's a few criteria that we put down together, Jill, about how I make decisions about how I want to learn from, because I am a student in other people's groups, believe it or not. I'm not a real loud one, but I want to see how they're teaching, and B, I want to learn. Like, there's a bunch of things I don't learn about. I need to continue my education about real estate so I can be a better instructor. So
what some of our criteria was,
and I didn't find those people on accident. That's
right.
My point.
How many deals have they done? How long have they been doing this?
Yep.
How old are they? Let's be honest. Let's talk about their experience. And then
the final one.
Accessible.
Oh, accessible?
How accessible are they to me if I really have to ask a question?
Yeah, I mean, like, Jill and I are real people that go to work every day, and we're on the other end of either a camera or microphones or,
phone.
live on Thursday we do live events.
Or
Jill
webinars,
Jill does
phones.
all Tuesday does live stuff for women.
Yeah.
And all Thursday, she and I are in front of a camera and accessible. And we're developing, have developed, and we're releasing products this month, January, that are going to make us even more accessible to our members. I think it really separates us from all the noise out there. Because the last thing you want to do is learn the wrong way from somebody who's young and just wants your money. And then you have to undo it and finally come to a group like ours that have established.
If you hang in there that long, some people will give up. A lot of people will say this doesn't work and leave.
Right.
And I feel bad.
But finally, which leads me to my final criteria, and I think it's the most important, is whether or not you seem to get along with the people that are in the group and get along with the instructors.
Correct.
If people have been telling me my whole life, man, you need to chill out. You need to settle down, calm down. Yeah. There's no fire. I don't know what got into you today, but you're going 1,000,000 miles an hour, and I can't make the finger gesture on the camera that I want to make to that, because Jill and I are absolutely on the same page about this. That's just, we hit the ground running in the morning.
People think we're
pretty
nuts.
Intense, and people that are a little bit more chilled out about this, or anything really, it doesn't work for them. Right. So those first 4 criteria could be great, because we do have all of them in our space on the internet. By leaps and bounds, we have all of them, but it's very possible that our approach, or my approach, everybody loves Jill. Oh. My approach specifically just doesn't work. And I'm kidding around. We have a data-centric, everything's surrounded around data. And for a lot of people, that's just not what they want. They're sales-driven and don't want to deal with that. So,
well, it isn't even about us in particular. I'm just saying whatever you pick as your niche, whatever you want to get into. Maybe you want to be a house flipper. Maybe you have a background in construction. You're studying right now to be a general contractor, let's just say, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to be the general contractor on steroids. I'm going to find my own deals too. That's possible. I know those people are out there. So, and the deals, maybe I'm going to do this. Maybe I'm going to find my own deals. I'll pick the easiest, best deals for me, and I'll sell all the other ones off to my competition, and it's going to be awesome, because that would be a great business model for somebody. So whatever that is, all these things apply. You want to find someone in your world for the parts that you don't know, which, say in this scenario, it's how do I find the deals? You need to seek out and find someone that's done thousands. I don't want hundreds, you guys. I want thousands of deals, because they've been doing this for over 10 years. Then they've got that many.
Yes.
And by the way, they need to be at least 40. I'm serious. Maybe 30. I got to say at least 40. I don't know. Good. So, because I really want experience, and I want them to be set, and this is their life passion too. Because that's, if this is just a stepping stone for them onto something else, then I don't know. And then what were the other things?
Well, there's nothing wrong with.
And you click with them.
Nothing wrong with what I said earlier is lock yourself in a room and do 4 to 8 hours of research on the internet and find out who's right in the space. Yep. If you want to learn how to be a water heater installer, that's the same process. You're going to find somebody who gets you and you understand. Yep. And is going to say, hey, you have to use these tools, this tool, this tool, and this tool. You don't have to go through all the stuff I did. I didn't have this, but if you do use these tools, you're going to be doing 3, 4, 5 installs a day. Yep.
And it's the right thing. Mm-hmm. Like pretty much everyone in Land Academy, when they accomplish in 6 months what took us years, because we didn't have anybody. Right. It took us, and that's the whole point. That's why you're doing this too. You want to fast forward and get going, and there's enough deals to go around. The right person is not gonna withhold stuff from you, and you guys are all gonna do great deals together.
And charge you more for the next level.
So
there's big issues with that.
Right. So anyway, happy you could join us today. 5 days a week. You can find us right here on the Land Academy Show. Join us tomorrow. This is your script.
Tomorrow, the episode on the Land Academy Show is called, if people are real humans on a show, audio and video, then that's a good sign, I think.
And they mess up.
Tomorrow, the episode on the Land Academy Show is called The Value of our Thursday deal review webinar. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
Isn't that funny? Some shows you just have a lot to say and they just love this run. Yesterday's show was like 13 minutes. Today's like 20. We had a lot to say about this topic.
Yep.
I had a lot to say about this topic. But this is really popular.
Yeah.
And I know right now going into 2021, there's a lot of people are saying they're like, all right, this is a really blank or get off the pot year for people. Like, we got to make something happen. I can't rely on anybody else. I'm going to do this. And I'm really happy.
Yeah, there's no better time to be doing this than right now.
Happy for them. Thank you for tuning in. We really hope you find our content valuable and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please get on over to our YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the type of content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithms and gauge your interest in future shows.
We are Steven Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.